I'm in the car, and I have no idea what awaits me. My mind feels foggy, fragments of memories, impulsive decisions, and those I didn't even notice until I found myself on this road. During one of the therapy sessions, the psychologist asked me questions I couldn't answer. Not because I didn't want to, but because some moments from the past seemed to have been erased, as if they never existed. Or maybe I had buried them deep down to avoid feeling. But I've been battling depression for years, and this time, something shifted inside me. I really wanted to figure it out. One day, I went to my grandmother's house. In the attic, among the dust, old boxes, and the scent of time, I found something I hadn't seen in ages. My old diaries and photographs, yellowed pages, lines written in a teenager's handwriting, tears between the lines. And it was as if I met myself again. The old me, vulnerable, lost. I sat on the floor in the middle of the attic, tucking my legs under me, and started flipping through the diaries. And suddenly, something clicked inside. The words on the pages seemed to come alive, and I wasn't sitting in the attic anymore. I was back there, in that very morning. That morning, as always, Mom was irritated. She yelled that I was dawdling, that everything was wrong, that I was doing it all on purpose. All I wanted was to get dressed quickly and run out of the house so I wouldn't hear her voice. In my haste, I threw on a sweater. When I walked into the classroom, everyone was already seated. The teacher looked me up and down, and suddenly, with feigned disdain, said, "Well, aren't you a fashionista?" and sneered. The whole class laughed. Someone snickered. Someone echoed her. I lowered my eyes, staring at the floor. And then I noticed my sleeve. The seams were on the outside, the tag sticking out. The sweater was inside out. Everything inside me clenched. I wanted to disappear, or at least go back home. But not to the home I'd run away from that morning. To another home, where no one yells, where a mistake isn't a reason for shame. I named him Donut. He was clumsy and always got tangled up in my legs when I was doing homework. Mom said he was dirty and smelly, and that decent kids don't keep dogs in apartments. And then he was gone. They said he went outside and never came back. I remember so clearly that the door was locked. I called for him for a long time, and then I hid his bowl under the bed, just in case he came back and had nothing to eat. I felt a lump rising in my throat, one that words couldn't dissolve. I wanted to cry, and then my gaze fell on a small box in the corner. Inside, next to the diaries, lay an old cell phone and its charger. I'd almost forgotten what it looked like. I don't know why, maybe just out of curiosity, but I plugged it in. After a couple of minutes, the screen flickered. The phone turned on. I started scrolling through the old messages, and then I saw his name, Evan. My heart jumped into my throat. I opened the conversation. There were only a few messages, short, naive, honest. Today the moon looked like an eye. I think it's watching us. But I'm writing anyway. If you'd come out at 5:10, we might have crossed paths, almost. I held that old phone in my hands, reading his words, and the memories started flooding back, one after another, as if someone had opened a door that had been gathering dust for years. Evan moved away with his family, not too far, to a neighboring province. I remember my mom saying something like, "Good riddance. Now you'll finally stop running around like a stray cat," while I just stood by the window, watching their car disappear around the corner. We stopped talking almost immediately. We had phones, but maybe I was too proud. I didn't text first because of some silly grudge. Maybe he stayed silent for the same reason. And I guess we both decided that the other had just forgotten, or that it wasn't worth it. Or maybe each of us was simply afraid that you'd write and there'd be no reply. And so it all hung in the air, unsaid, unpreserved, unfinished, but still warm. Maybe things changed quickly for Evan too. A new school, new friends. Kids know how to forget. And me. I tried to forget too. Years passed. Other people came into my life. There was one boy from a parallel class, Nick. A little strange, but kind. At the time, I was grasping at any crumb of warmth, pretending everything was fine, even if I felt empty inside. I stared at that old phone for a long time. The messages from him were simple, light. And suddenly, I wanted to know who he became, where he was now, if he remembered anything. I opened Facebook. I didn't think I'd find him, but I did. A profile with his name, a photo, the same smile, only older. I almost closed the page, but my fingers pressed add friend on their own. He accepted the request that same day. We started chatting, cautiously as if we were tossing short messages back and forth from that old phone. Only now we weren't kids, but adults, with scars on our souls. He said he remembered, that sometimes he thought back to those conversations. Simple, silly, but real. He even remembered how I dropped a glove once, and he kept it in a drawer all winter. And then he told me something that made my heart clench. When he turned 18, his dad gave him an old car, and he suddenly decided to drive to our town, the one where we were us. He said he wanted to pretend he was just visiting the old places, but secretly he was hoping for a random encounter. He wanted to see me, just like that, without words, without explanations, as if it just happened by chance. He even drove up to my house. At that moment, I was standing by the gate, kissing another guy. He said he sat in his car, watching me laugh as if I was happy. And that's when he knew he was too late. Then he started the car and drove away. I had no idea he was that close, that it could have been a different story, that someone once came all the way for me and turned around without saying a word. He told me he got married at 21 to a girl from that town, but the marriage didn't even last a year. Now he's building a business from scratch and looking to the future. And then he invited me to his birthday party, which was in a couple of days. At first, I didn't even think about it. Why would I go? I found him on Facebook out of curiosity to see who he became, how he lived, what happened to him over the years. It wasn't supposed to mean anything, just memories. But then I caught myself thinking, why not? Why not go? And now, here I am, driving. I don't know what will happen next, but I made up my mind. Maybe it's just a meeting, or maybe the start of something real. What would you do if you found old messages from someone who once meant the world to you? Likes keep stories alive. Thank you